On today's episode of Watch Jericho, we are in the garage with my 2003 Jag S-Type with the 3-liter. And in the last video, we found out just how ruined this car is. Today, we try to bring it back from the brink. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Jericho, and today, like I said, we are in the garage with my 2003 Jag S-Type with the 3-liter under the hood. Now, many of you did not want me to save this car after we took it to Dana's and got underneath it and saw just how bad it was. But I drove it and I loved it. It was actually really fun to drive. I don't know whether that's because of the manual or because the interior is just a nice place to be. It's rear wheel drive. It makes good power and I am a fan of it. So I spent, I think so far, half the price of the car on parts, and I know we're not there yet. Let's take a look in the back seat. Looks like a normal cheap S-Type to you, and then we open the back seat and it's no longer a cheap S-Type. This is pure insanity. That is basically everything to fix the mechanical parts of this car and some of the suspension. It does not include all of the suspension that it needs because of course we know that the reality is every suspension bushing will need replaced as time goes on. But first, I want to get the check engine light off and I want to fix the tie rod ends and a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff, which is what's sitting in the back seat. And then we'll go from there and see about pressing new bushings into the suspension. I think making this car steer reliably with new tie rod ends gets us halfway there. So the rear toe links are in the back, tie rod ends are in the back, every coil, every plug, the MAF, all the filters, basically everything to get the lights off is in the back, including a new coolant reservoir because we got to get that fixed so it stops saying engine coolant low all the time. Some of you will have noticed already there are hood struts in there as well because hood struts are the first thing that needs done. Transmission and engine mounts are in there too. Basically everything is in there. So let's get this hood open and go to work, and today we're gonna see just how far we get. How do you open the hood on this car? It eludes me. Step one. Make the hood stay up. I think this is technically the first car I'm saving in 2023. And like I said, I'm excited about this. I like the way it drives. It's just a fun, good car. It's got torque down low where it needs it, and it lets you power it through the corners, and it just ends up being a great driving experience. A car that does not have a great driving experience is my electric Geo Metro. That is going to be the second car I'm saving in 2023. All right, back to the number one thing on every car. It just makes the whole ownership experience much better. Just a wiggle and we're off. You guys have seen this mistake before. This is how you end up with an F-type hood over your whole body. Come on. Wow. Tell you what, it'll really hurt your head when you do that. Okay. There's number one, on to number two. So the goal today, of course, is to get as many of the boxes out of that back seat and into the engine bay as possible. And then we'll just keep right on grinding until they are all gone. So hopefully it doesn't take too long to get rid of them all. Ooh, nothing left of these hood struts. They are fully floppy. She gone. All right, we'll go up a hair. And it's fixed. We fixed the first thing and it just took, obviously, a couple of seconds. Ah, yes. Now I can work without fear of the hood falling on my head. Obviously we have wiper blades too. This is just one of those things I always do. First, because they're like $3 at O'Reilly's. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw these on to get their boxes out of our way. Only takes a couple seconds. Makes a big improvement on the car. There we go. One down, 24 on the driver's side, 19 on the passenger side is what it calls for, I think. Just knock them out as fast as we can. And another one, obviously another 2-second job. All right, let's get back under the hood and see how much stuff we can change under there. Now, I'm not actually sure that the MAF is bad, but 100% Jake said every MAF on every 3.0 Duratec is bad, and it was cheap, so I went ahead and bought a replacement anyway. So you just need your Torx. It looks like a T20, and we'll pop out these two screws here just past the air box. I think we've got a new air filter to go in here as well. And obviously all this is about to come off because we have plugs and coils in the back seat of goodness there. So there's our MAF. It actually doesn't look too bad if you ask me. And it looks like, I mean, all the contacts are clean enough. It's still sealing. I'll probably keep this old one just in case, because I don't see any problems with it. But just in case, all Duratecs actually need a new MAF. I bought one. And now for today's main event, we're gonna try to swap out that coolant reservoir real quick. And if that works, I think we'll have fixed one problem on the dash, which gets us much closer to where we wanna be. Obviously, getting all the lights off would be ideal, but that's never gonna happen because the cats have been replaced, and I can promise you, I am not buying factory cats for this car. It would cost $3,000. It would cost the price of the car. So we'll get basically everything that was actually failing fixed, but we won't be able to ever shut off its check engine light, which is a little unfortunate. So engine coolant low, that's our biggest enemy here. So as soon as we get that clamp off of here, we should be able to get the reservoir out of here. Hey, there she is. Put that guy right over there. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Our lower hose into the expansion tank has been pinched off with my vice grip hose pinching pliers right there. So hopefully now we'll just extract what coolant is in here, which it doesn't look like there's any good way to do that out, honestly. So I guess we're just gonna take it loose, slide this tank up, and try to install our new one, and then swap them as fast as possible, save all the coolant we can. That's all I can ask for. It looks like only one screw holds in the whole expansion tank, which is some awesome engineering, if you ask me. It just slides right up and out. How cool is that? So there's one clip. It's got a quick disconnect on the hose. I gotta reach down there and get that. I can't exactly show it to you, but it's a little slide up clip just like BMW would do. Well, I have a feeling this is gonna be a disaster, but I've done everything I can. The overflow's capped off, the cap is tight, and our new tank is here. So I'm gonna try to do this all in one move. Wiggle the connector off, yank it out, swap it, and plug it right back in before we leak all of our coolant out. All right, let's party. One shot here. I got the tank loose. I already know it's gonna go badly. No, come on. We got it? Oh, I didn't think it was gonna leak it all out of the hose. Well, none of that worked according to plan here. Well, your plans don't work out. That's just life, huh? She's connected. The new sensor is connected, the overflow is connected. I'd say that went pretty well. And now, all we have to do is dump in the rest of our coolant just like this. Will it work? There we go. I sure wish I had my vacuum coolant fill over here, because this system will need vacuum down. I will say, I think that's the quickest reservoir change I've ever seen in my life. If we play that in real time, it was maybe 30 seconds. So 1 bolt, 2 connectors that are quick disconnects. And of course you can take that clamp off beforehand and then just tighten down this tin once it's all back in. Maybe give it a squirt of coolant to refill what you lost, but other than that, that is job done. And I couldn't be happier about how that just went. Kind of unbelievable. We're ready to start it up and put in a little bit more orange coolant there, and hopefully no more light on the dash. Let's find out. Did you guys know these new Jags just use Dex Cool? Luckily I had a gallon here in the garage, so I didn't even have to run to O'Reilly's to pick up more. Pretty excited about that, but GM coolant, Ford engine. We'll pour some coolant in, open the bleeder up, and hopefully we are home free. My only question is, did we just set the world record for coolant reservoir change? No more light. And we are getting closer by the minute. I forgot about that airbag light. I really have to figure out that ultrasonic sensor over there. Cool. No leaks. Looking good. Again, I just went around the block, and I don't know why, but this car is awesome. Like I said, I think it's just because it makes all the torque in the right places, down low at 1,000 RPM. It is in A, obviously, and it just makes great power. So we're gonna pull out real quick, and I'll show you guys just like the slightest amount of throttle. Grab second and give it some power. That was half, 3/4 throttle. All I know is it is an absolute blast to drive because it delivers power like that. So we're gonna keep right on grinding on this car until it is perfect. Well, that definitely fixed our low coolant light that was always popping up on the dash. So coolant expansion tank down, MAF down, hood struts and wipers are down. That was quite a bit of junk out of the back seat so far, and we'll just keep working, like I said, until that back seat is empty. So tomorrow we begin the daunting job, which is pulling everything off the top of the engine, the upper intake, the lower intake. I got new gaskets for everything just in case there's an intake leak, and I got a new PCV, new coils, new plugs, and spark plug tube seals as well. So that should fix everything on top of the engine. Then of course we've got filters for all of it and a bunch of suspension parts. And of course for the suspension, we'll get the car on an alignment rack as well and get, you know, the new parts on, get it realigned, and she should be good to go. A ton of progress already. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjaguar.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. Every time I take this car for a rip, I love it even more. It's just really good. Something about a 3-liter V6 and a manual. Solid combo.